Greetings, Internet. I'm the Modern Marxist, but you can call me Mark. I just got back from a little trip to the American South, which has made me want to talk about the history of revolutionary movements in the South. But I need more time to research for that, so let's talk about something completely different. Today, we're going to answer a question I've never heard anyone ask, but has always bothered me. How did the Kuomintang leadership go from the principled liberal Sun-Yat-Sen to the brutal nationalist Chiang-Kai-Shek? The research for this topic comes from Chinese sources, not from Western historians, so keep that in mind when examining certain claims and perspectives. Anyway, let's start with some backstory. The Kuomintang, otherwise known as the Chinese Nationalist Party, was founded in August of 1912 by Sun Yat-sen with the intention of overthrowing the Qing Empire and bringing Western liberalism to China. While Sun Yat-sen did promote Western ideas, he also preached sweeping land reforms and greater equality for the Chinese people, which made him popular with many different revolutionary groups in China. The Kuomintang succeeded in overthrowing the Qing, but failed to root out its corrupted institutions. Qing military leader Yuan Shikai pressured the new Chinese Republic to make him its first president. Soon after, Shikai declared himself the new emperor of China. The Kuomintang rose up yet again in 1913, but were defeated by Yuan Shikai loyalists and forced to disband. Sun Yat-sen fled to Japan in exile and formed new revolutionary groups, uniting them into the new Kuomintang in 1919. Yuan Shikai died 3 years earlier in 1916, collapsing the fragile empire into several factions of warlords and revolutionary groups. In October 1920, the Kuomintang returned to China in Guangzhou, but they failed to make significant progress against the other factions. In 1921, the International Comintern sent Dutch communist Henk Sneevliet to meet with prominent Chinese communists to aid them in forming an official party. Chinese communist Chen Disho and 12 others met with Henk and declared the official creation of the Chinese Communist Party. The initial building of the party was very successful, thanks to the tireless efforts of communists like Li Dazhao, who led the Organization of Workers Across China, and Chang Wangdao, who was the first person to translate the Communist Manifesto into Mandarin. However, efforts slowed down over time as the Kuomintang grew larger. The Kuomintang were highly varied politically, with left and right wings within the party. Members of the Chinese Communist Party visited the Soviet Union and even met with Lenin. However, the Soviet understanding of Chinese politics was flawed. The Comintern encouraged Chen to create a united front with the Kuomintang. Many Chinese communists were against this idea, and some high-ranking members, including Li Da, head of the party's publicity department, left the party due to their distaste for the Kuomintang. In 1925, Sun Yat-sen died. Much of the Kuomintang's left wing was deepening involvement with the communists, while the right wing of the Kuomintang stepped in to fill the void. Communists were denied positions of importance within the Kuomintang, which led to communists breaking away from the Kuomintang. When the split occurred, many on the left of the Kuomintang left with the communists, which shifted the entire organization to the right. This allowed Chiang-Kai-Shek's allies to elevate him to the top of the Kuomintang. Chiang-Kai-Shek went on to carry out purges against leftists, including the April 12th incident, in which communists in Shanghai were purged violently. The Kuomintang continued the persecution of communists until 1934, when Mao Zedong led the communists on the Long March, giving them breathing room away from the Kuomintang. Soon World War II would begin, and the Kuomintang and the communists were forced to put their differences aside to repel the Japanese invasion. Much of the liberated territory in the north was controlled by the communists, which gave them a leg up when the Civil War resumed in 1945. The Kuomintang received vast economic and military support from the U.S. In 1949, the People's Liberation Army successfully defeated the Kuomintang, forcing them to flee to the island of Taiwan. Chiang Kai-shek established a military dictatorship in Taiwan, and he would ultimately be responsible for more than 30,000 civilian deaths from political repressions. Taiwan was kept under martial law for 38 years. Over time, Taiwan would make a gradual transition to liberalism after the death of Chiang Kai-shek and his son. The first public presidential election in Taiwan occurred in 1996, which swept in the new Progressive Democratic Party. However, the Kuomintang would return to power following the elections in 2008 and 2012. The history between China and Taiwan is highly complex and worthy of much more discussion than the simple dismissal most Westerners give it. That's all I have for you this week. Thanks for watching.